You're doing more than you used to, and somehow money feels worse. It's late, not dramatic late, just late enough that you're tired but not ready to sleep. You open your bank app, not because you're about to buy something, not because a bill is due, you just check. You scroll past the balance like you've seen it before because you have. You close the app, then you open it again. Nothing changed. Bills are covered, no alerts, no overdraft warnings, and still your stomach tightens. It's that quiet moment at the grocery store, too. You're not choosing between food and rent, you hesitate over brands. You do the math in your head for a second longer than you used to. You put one thing back, even though you technically don't need to. Or the email from your landlord, renewal. You don't open it right away. You already know it's not good news. It never is. Nothing is wrong in a dramatic way, and yet money never feels calm anymore. So let's clear something up early. You are responsible with money. You didn't mess this up. You didn't miss some obvious lesson everyone else figured out. This is happening to people like you. Someone who pays bills on time. Someone who thinks ahead. Someone who doesn't live recklessly. This problem exists even with a decent income, even with raises, even when you do everything you were told to do. If you feel confused, that's not failure, that's awareness. And you deserve to feel safe here before we go any further. My name is Peter, and I spend way too much time thinking about how money actually works in real life. Not in spreadsheets, not in advice columns, but in moments like the one you just felt. If this kind of conversation helps you feel less alone, you can subscribe, quietly, only if it fits. Here's what's actually happening beneath the surface. At some point, your income probably increased. Not overnight, not dramatically, but gradually. And you expected, reasonably, that life would feel easier afterward. But instead, it just stayed tight. That's because the cost of standing still has been rising faster than your income, not in shocking ways, in subtle ones. Rent doesn't double, it creeps. Insurance doesn't explode, it adjusts. Groceries don't feel expensive all at once, they just stop feeling cheap. And because these increases happen quietly, your brain treats them as normal. You don't panic, you adapt. That's the trap. There's one statistic that explains this without turning it into a lecture. Over the past few years, prices rose faster than wages for people doing steady, honest work. Not dramatically enough to cause outrage, just enough to erase the margin you used to have. Let's slow this down with real numbers. Imagine you bring home $4,500 a month. A few years ago, maybe your fixed expenses were around $3,900. That left about $600 that felt flexible. Not fun money, just breathing room. Then rent goes up $300, groceries go up $150, insurance goes up $100. You didn't upgrade your lifestyle, you didn't add luxuries, but now your margin is gone. You're still earning, still paying bills, still doing everything right, but there's no cushion. It's like running on a treadmill that slowly tilts upward. No announcement, no warning light, you just feel more tired and can't explain why. And this creates a second problem most people never connect. When there's no margin, your brain never turns off. Every purchase carries weight, not because it's expensive, but because everything now competes for the same limited space. You don't just buy coffee, you wonder if you should. You don't just plan a weekend, you calculate it. You don't just receive an email, you brace for it. This is what constant financial pressure actually feels like. Not panic, not crisis, just ongoing tension. It shows up as mental fatigue, the kind that makes simple decisions feel heavy. It shows up as background anxiety, the kind you carry even on good days. It shows up as that strange feeling of being behind, even when your life looks responsible from the outside. That second problem is cognitive exhaustion. You are managing uncertainty all day long, and your brain wasn't built to do that forever. This is why rest doesn't fully recharge you, why weekends don't feel restorative, why you feel guilty spending money and guilty not enjoying life enough. None of that means you're weak. It means you're human. And once you see that, the stress finally makes sense. The problem isn't that you're bad with money, it's that money isn't behaving the way you were taught it would. You were told effort creates ease, that responsibility creates security, that stability arrives quietly once you do everything right. But the system changed, slowly, without updating the expectations. Realizing that doesn't mean giving up, it means you finally understand what you've been carrying, and that clarity alone can feel like a small release. When did you first start feeling this, even though nothing was technically wrong?